Have you ever felt stuck adjusting your fight's difficulty on the spot? Or perhaps you're just a little worried that you have too easy or too hard of an encounter lined up for your D&D game. I've got you covered. Today we're going to discuss 3 dials that you can use to adjust your fights on the fly with ease. Let's get to it. The first dial, and one that is often talked about in all sorts of different places, is to adjust the damage that your monsters are going to put out. It feels a little bit weird to be playing with the amount of damage dice or the number of attacks that your monster is dishing out, however, in a typical combat, and so what we need to add in order to fix this is a narrative reason for the increase or decrease of attacks or damage dice. It's pretty simple to tack this on at the 50% health mark for our monsters, and then we just narrate either the battle frenzy as their desperation kicks in and they get an extra attack every round or an extra dice of damage on every brutal hit, or we narrate the defeat and destruction of one of their weapons. Perhaps an arm goes limp and they can no longer raise it to hold the cat up or fight. In either case, this dial is simple to include at critical points in the hit points of the monster so that you can ramp up the difficulty or tone it down if things are getting a little out of hand. Like the cat. The second dial that's available for us to change in the middle of a fight is the number of creatures that are involved in that fight. Obviously, we can't just have things disappear once the players know about them, but if the players don't know what is around corner A, then they don't know that there isn't more monsters ready to stream out to spice up the encounter and raise the tension level, and you can always have, I know, it's a shocker, monsters run away. If they flee when they're badly injured, it effectively reduces the amount of effort that the players have to put in order to finish them off, and usually they're going to chase them down to extinction, but having somebody's nerve break in the middle of a fight is a great way to adjust the difficulty level of that fight. The weakness of this technique is that once you have added something to the fight, it's not necessarily as easy to take it away, though you can apply the fleeing method to them, but ultimately we don't want to get stuck grinding down every last little minion once the big fight is actually over. The third narrative dial that we can adjust in our games of Dungeons & Dragons is the dramatic ending. If a fight is going a little too easily for our players and they're knocking people down left and right, consider adding a death blow, opportunity attack style last ditch effort to the monster when it goes down. You're going to find that your players are going to lean into this and start adding tactical choices like trying to shoot down the lower hit point creatures instead of engaging them in melee, and that just adds to the fun and the difficulty of the fight. Alternatively, if you have a creature that's already at a lower hit point range, consider just ignoring however many hit points it has left, wait for a good dramatic moment, a well-rolled dice or something like that, and just wipe them off the field and let that player have the moment of glory. There are dozens of other ways that we could modify our monsters in order to change the difficulty of the fight that's coming. But having a handful of go-to narrative tools in your pocket that you can use on the fly to change the battle towards the tension beat that you are seeking is going to improve your game of Dungeons & Dragons. And that's why we're here. If there's something that you do in order to adjust fights on the fly to ensure that your players are having the best time possible, please leave it in the comments for our community. And if you're looking to up your game of Dungeons & Dragons, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Happy adventuring.